Hey everybody, Judson here with Thrive Yoga and Wellness. Talking about juicing again. I'm just going to kind of go over some of the stuff that I put in the juice that I just made and why, and just kind of give some basic tips on juicing and some other things to expect if you do a juice fast. You don't have to kind of go as crazy as I go with it. Some people do, some people don't, but I'll just kind of give you some things to expect if you do decide. So, one of the things I do when I first started out, or when I first started out before, because juicing, sometimes you're juicing vegetables that you don't really, either you kind of enjoy or you don't really know or you want to try. Like beets, I'm not a big fan of beets, but I like them in a juice. So you want to go easy with those because the things that you in a juice, the things that you don't typically enjoy, you're gonna taste the most of. And so, what I did to get around that when I first started juicing was I use a lot of green apples. And I use green apples or Granny Smith apples because they're low on the glycemic index. So it's not as impactful to your sugar levels as like a Red Delicious or one of the sweeter apples. Excuse me. So, and also in the other video, I kind of said that if you do a juice fast, your brain's I was kind of slow today. And that's because there's two reasons. Well, one of the reasons I'm slow today is because my 1-year-old didn't sleep well last night. And my wife was blissfully sleeping in the other bed, as you can hear her. The other reason is so when you do a juice fast, or when you start doing a juice fast, you kind of it's kind of cleaning all the toxins out. Well, it's cleaning stuff out of your brain too, and that can it just kind of puts me in a fog for a day or so. That's not pretty, maybe not the best way to sell it, but after the first day, or after even the second day, after the first day, and I usually start these on a weekend if I do, like on a Friday, so that I'm in the fog on a Saturday, and it's not a big deal. But then after probably the second or third day, you start to feel great. I mean, I feel better than I have in a long time. And I'm just gonna kind of show you guys some things that I put in this big juice today. So I made, in the big one, there's apples, Granny Smith apples, cucumber, carrots. I use sweet peppers because I just like the flavor of them in a juice. And one of my wife Jennifer's favorite juices is just apples and peppers, apples and sweet peppers. It's really good, actually. What did I say? Then there's cucumber. I said cucumber. I really need to write this stuff down. There's ginger and turmeric, and so I want to kind of stop there because I want to show you guys the ginger and the turmeric. So when I put turmeric, which is this little root, in a big juice like that, I'm probably putting 2 to 3 thumbs is what I call them, of juice. So that way you're getting a good shot of it. It doesn't really impact. I don't taste it. Some people will more than others, but because I've been juicing with it for so long, I don't taste it very much. Ginger is another root, and with ginger, ginger's kind of you kind of got to work your way up to it. Some people can take ginger and they absolutely love it, so they want a ton of it right away. Others, you need to work into it. So I would start with, in a big juice like that, I would start with just 1 thumb. And as you progress and get more used to ginger being in the juice, then you can always add more. Because once you add it, you can't take it out, and that's all you'll taste. If you've never juiced before, you've never been around juicing or been around ginger like that much, if you use a lot of ginger, that is all you're going to taste, and it is something to get used to. I love it now. When we first started juicing, I hated it. I absolutely hated ginger. I know that there's it's a lot. There's tons of stuff in it that are really good for your gut and your health, as far as antiviral, antibacterial. It helps fight cancer stuff. I mean, ginger is an awesome cure-all kind of deal. But when we first started juicing with it, I hated it. I absolutely hated ginger. So I didn't use that much. Another thing that I've recently started adding to my juice that I've done some research on is aloe, an aloe plant. Now, I usually, when in a juice that size, I just cut off maybe this much, and I'll cut it, throw it, everything in the juicer with the rind and everything, and juice it all, because there's lots of good things with the aloe as well. And then in my wife's juice, which are these two smaller ones, she doesn't like the apples. She doesn't like sweet apples, so I don't use any apples with hers. Hers is pretty much all vegetables, except for the lemon. And she also likes herbs or cilantro in hers, which I cannot stand cilantro. In my opinion, there's two people out there. The first person loves cilantro, thinks it tastes great. The other person, which is me, hates cilantro, thinks it tastes like soap. I've met one other person that thinks it tastes like soap. So I know there's other people out there. I don't like cilantro. I don't put it in my juice. I know it's really good for you. I can do parsley, and I do parsley in my juice. So any of those leafy greens are good for cleansing the blood, stuff like that. And then I use mostly spinach. Sometimes I mix kale, but I used spinach today because that's all we bought. And but then I used, in that gallon juice, I used probably 6 apples, which are medium-sized Granny Smith apples. I can grab one and show them to you, actually. So I grabbed I've got 2 different sizes. Here's medium size, and here is small. So medium size, small. I use 6 medium-sized ones in that juice. I get the small ones because the kids can grab them and hold them and eat them, which they like to do when I juice. And then I get to juice a half-eaten apple, so it's always fun. And it kind of makes it, the apples cover up a lot of flavors. Like if there's stuff in there you don't like, then it helps cover it up. I'm not a big fan of cucumber, but I know it's really good for your skin, so I drink it. I juice it. Years ago I hated celery. Now I really love celery. And I usually put, in that one, it's got a stalk, 1 full stalk of celery. And it's got about 8 to 10 large carrots. And Jennifer's, it's a variation of that. Hers has a lot. Hers has mainly the cilantro, the spinach, has some parsley in it. Has lemon, because lemon will help. Lemon helps cut the taste of a lot of stuff. So that's also an advantage if you want to, or just a tip, if you want to kind of help cut some stuff, cut the taste of especially ginger. If you put too much ginger in your juice, you can add lemon. Now lemon will, it can get, where it cringes, but you won't be burning your throat with the juice or with the ginger. So those are kind of just some tips to get started, stuff that maybe you didn't know, or that stuff that I've learned that I didn't know when I first started. So if you have any questions or we can do anything for you, comment below and I'll try to answer as best I can. See you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.